Hello students, welcome to my class. Today I am going to take up a poem. The title of that poem is On His Blindness and it was composed by John Milton. Friends, as we all know, when we talk about English literature, as we all are literature lovers, we talk about so many literary personalities. But unless we include the discussion about John Milton, everything remains incomplete because he was such a remarkable figure in English literature. And his contribution, it was the composition of his two epics, Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained, that had made him world famous. And both of these epics, they dealt with the biblical theme, a very sublime theme regarding the fall of man, the Christ, Jesus Christ, etc. Then he, apart from these epics, he had also composed so many poems. He is accredited to have written Areopagitica, that was a statement about the, freedom of press. So, when we talk about this particular poem, the title of this poem is On His Blindness. It is a sonnet. Now, before we move towards the explanation of this poem, let's consider what is the meaning of sonnet. Sonnet is a poem of 14 lines. Sonnet is the word that is derived from the Italian word sonetto. The word sonetto meant little song. So it is a poem of 14 lines that was popularized in Italy by Petrarch. That's why it is known as Petrarchan sonnet. In English, it was made popularized by William Shakespeare. That's why it is known as Shakespearean sonnet. Now, when we talk about these two sonnets, then you must be perplexed. What is the difference between these two sonnets? Actually, the lines remain the same. That means 14 lines. The number of lines is same, but the division of lines in stanzas has made it different. For example, in Petrarchan sonnet, we have the division like first 8 line octave and the remaining 6 lines sestet. But in Shakespearean sonnet, there are 3 quatrains followed by a couplet. So this is the basic difference. Sonnets were generally written about love, but in Milton's context, we find that he has just written it to express his own agony, and somehow it is related to God. Okay, this is a subjective poem. He is talking about his own life. Milton got blind at the age of 44, and here in these lines, he has talked about that how much anguished he is after losing his eyesight, because he was blessed with a creative genius of writing. He had been writing. He was more bent towards writing. But at this hour, at the peak hour, his eyesight was taken. So that was a big shock for him. And unable to bear this shock, he outpours his frustration, and that is reflected in these lines. Okay, now let's focus on these lines. When I consider how my light is spent, whenever I think about how my light is spent means how my eyesight has been taken, or how I have just used my knowledge which I was given to me by God. I here is Milton. Ere half my days in this dark world and wide. Ere half my days means before the half of my life is spent. That means he got blind at the age of 44. But before that means how is he going to spend the rest of his life in darkness? Because his eyesight is not there. So how would he use his talent, which was given to him by God, the talent of composing poems? So he is saying that one talent which is dead to hide, and the one talent which I was gifted, will remain hidden till death, because as he is not able to see, then how would he work? How would he write? How would he compose poetry? Lost with me, useless. Now I am useless. though my soul more bent, though he is more inclined to write, he is more inclined to serve there with my Maker, to serve there with my Maker, to serve God with his creative genius. Okay, though my soul more bent to serve there with my Maker and to present, और उसको present करना था, he wants it to present my true account, lest he returning child, because he wanted to utilize that talent in writing something to please God, lest he may chide him that what have you done with the talent I had given you. And what he would say that since because there was no light, how would I have used that talent? Okay, and he was just expressing his complaints and he was just expressing his frustration. At the same time, he is consoled by patience. But patience is personified here. But patience to prevent. To prevent, what is to prevent? To prevent the murmur. Murmur means whatever he is just saying, whatever he was complaining. Soon replies, God does not need, God does not require either man's work or his own gift. God does not require anyone's work or anyone's gift. The person who best bear, the person who is able to tolerate the mild burden, he is the best serving to God. That means the person who is able to bear the burden without making any complaint, who is happy with the way he is serving God in the best way. Then he says, because his estate is kingly. Now you must be knowing that what is the meaning of, yoke. Yoke here means a wooden bar that is generally used while plowing. Okay, plowing the field. So yoke is heavy. So he says that the people who are happily bearing the mild yoke, they are best serving God. His estate is kingly. Whose estate is kingly? God's estate is kingly. God is not a master. He does not want anything done by people. So his estate is kingly, and so many angels are there who are serving him day and night, post over land and water in their own way. Okay, and there are some other people also, there are some other angels also who are only standing, who are happy with their stability, and in stability also they are just serving him and waiting him. So God does not need any kind of special service, any kind of special gift. He is happy with the way you are, with your circumstances. If you are ready, if you are happy with the way you are, that means you are best serving God. Okay, here you know that in this poem Milton has used an allusion also, talent. Talent here means a literal meaning, that talent, an ability that is gifted to us by God, and we are expected to explore that talent, we are expected to use that talent in a well suited way. But here talent also means it is an illusion that has been taken from Gospel of Matthew 25. It is a story, it is a biblical story. In this biblical story, it talks about a man who, while going for a voyage, he gives talents to his servant. Talent there, it represented money. Okay, he gave talent to his servant. To one, to one servant he gives 8 talent, another to 5 talent, and the last one 1 talent. The first two used that talent in a very suitable manner and they earned profit, but the third one had hidden it. And when that merchant, he came back and he asked that what they did with that talent, all of them they told him, but the third one, as he was unable to do anything with that talent, he was rebuked by him for hiding that talent. So Milton in these lines, he was also worried about that. If he would be asked that what did you do with that talent which you were gifted with, how would he answer? Because he was not willing to hide that talent, but it was the circumstances, as he got blind, that's why he had to hide that talent. Okay, that's why he was very much worried. That poem that begins with a kind of complaint, anguish, it ends in wisdom. The first 8 lines are the questions, but then last 6 lines they provide the answer. That is, it is the contentment, the satisfaction that whatever God has given you, be happy with it. And ironically, Milton got blind at the age of 44, but afterwards he got success and fame in his life. He composed his epic in 1667. Okay, so this is the poem. As far as a figure of speech is concerned, personification is used here, as patience is personified. As far as the rhyme scheme is concerned, rhyme scheme of Petrarchan sonnet is A B B A, A B B A, C D E, C D E. Okay, so in this way we come to a end of this poem. I hope that you would have just understood it, and you must not be having any kind of problem. If you like this channel, you can like it, share it and subscribe it. Okay, thank you.